Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show prior to the game that you could see on NBC and Peacock on Sunday night between the Steelers and the Chiefs is the freshly minted first-team All-Pro, Cam Heyward. How are you doing, Cam?
I'm good. And yourself?
I am doing well. Congrats on the first-team All-Pro, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Who told you? Because this came out, I think, about 10 minutes ago.
You just told me.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
Hey!
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No kidding. Yeah, that just congratulations. That literally, wow. I'm like the Paul Revere here. The All-Pro is coming. Yeah, man. It's you. You want to guess who the other defensive interior lineman is? That's All-Pro.
Aaron.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yep.
Yes, sir. It's you and him. And you want to guess who the edge rushers are on the line with you?
Let me guess. I'm going to say TJ and Myles Garrett.
That is correct. You sure you didn't see this list, Cameron? Come on.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yes, indeed.
Those guys have had the best seasons. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, sometimes you put something in the old voting booth and you never know what's going to be spit out. You know what I mean? But what is it?
Very true.
So this is literally first blush. What does it mean to be named as such, Cam Heyward?
Man, it's a big honor. I put a lot of work in this offseason. To be viewed as one of the top D linemen in our league, I'm just very lucky. I know it's not a guarantee, and I got to put in the work, but, very honored to be known as an All-Pro this year.
And then I know the answer to, I guess, already, but I'll ask anyway. What does it mean to be named on that line with your teammate, T.J. Watt, Cameron Heyward?
Man, you there's not a more deserving guy of being All-Pro, hopefully Defensive Player of the Year, leading the league in sacks again, but, as a group, we're leading the league. And I'm sure he'll tell you we've got a bunch of guys that make this thing possible, but that dude is part of the locomotive, and, he keeps us all together.
And you also had a front row seat to him fighting through injuries, too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, plenty of injuries, but, when we get him out there and he's playing most of the plays, there's not a lot of guys that can beat him. We're very lucky to have a guy that when he steps on the field, he's going to give you a chance.
And you also had a front row seat to, did he get hosed out of the sack record last week?
Yeah. Well, two things. One, my dumb penalty caused him to not get the one sack. They called me for roughing the passer when the guy's running the ball, figures. And then the next one, it was a botched fumble. The quarterback picks it back up and tries to get up. TJ, to me, he sacks him and makes him fumble, but it gets viewed as a aborted play, which is, a load of crap to me.
Yeah, man. I was talking about it with his brother JJ yesterday, and so nonetheless, I mean, you're all pros, and congratulations on that. Cameron Heyward here on the Rich Eisen Show. How long of a day was Sunday? Walk me through Sunday for you.
Ooh, trying to stay focused on our game, but you're seeing the, Jacksonville and Colts game. Colts were struggling, and Jacksonville put it away, and Baltimore is excited because they're feeling like they got a chance. We go to overtime, and it was a grinded out type of game, and we were able to get the ball one last time, score a field goal with 2 minutes left in overtime, and we're feeling pretty good. And then you start watching the Chargers and Raiders game coming on at 8:00, and man, my night went very long into the night. My kids were woken up by me.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I was a little loud.
About what? Like what in particular got you loud, Cameron Heyward, of watching Sunday night?
The amount of fourth downs they converted. I'm just like in my head. I'm like, dude, you guys can end it right here. And every time Justin Herbert came up with big plays, and I'm like, come on. But you really got to thank Josh Jacobs because I feel like he put us in range to, for them to get a field goal. And I'm like, thank God. And, they kicked the field goal, went through. I was like, all right, we got a shot now. So, that was about at like 1:30 in the morning. So
yeah,
it was a long night.
I'll tell you, just as a fan and watching it and understanding what the stakes are and what have you, it was exhilarating, right? And just watching that and I was on the edge of my seat. The number of people have called into the show or friends of mine who we've been talking and texting saying that was one of the most incredible games of football and weeks of football and Sunday games of football. But this is your livelihood, man. We just talked about your all-pro season and the amount of work you put in the off season and what you were doing this season and how the tie against the Lions kind of set all of these things in motion because if there was a three-way tie at 9-7-1, you were out, and it's all hanging in the balance like that. That must have driven you nuts, sitting there watching.
It did, and like Chris Collinsworth was killing me with his talk about the tie during the game. I'm like, no way this ends in a freaking tie. He kept bringing it up. I'm like, bro, like, stop. You're killing me. And, you never want to have your fate in somebody else's hands. But we did, and now we just got to make the most out of this and not let it be in vain.
Yeah, and before we get to that, though, do you think the Chargers' timeout that they took, because Brandon Staley said he wanted to get the proper run defense on the field, and interestingly enough, Josh Jacobs ran through that run defense for a first down. Do you think that timeout did, in fact, help you and the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs because that led to the field goal? Do you think that made a difference, knowing football as you do?
The football person in me says, yeah, it helped. But the competitor in me is like, maybe they really wanted to win the game, but, I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
I bet.
I'll say that.
Cameron Heyward of the Pittsburgh Steelers here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's jump into it then. Ben even mentioned this week, that nobody's giving you a chance. Do you feel that way right now, Cameron Heyward?
Yeah. Rightfully so. They've got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Mahomes and, skill pieces galore, opportunistic defense. They finished number 2 in the AFC. Not a lot of people are giving us a chance. But, to my guys in my locker room, the 53 men and the staff and the organization and our practice squad, we believe in ourselves. And, we'll see what happens.
Okay. What do you think needs to do to make it happen for you in the way that you want, a.k.a. a win? What do you need?
I think we got to get off on third downs. I think last time they were to sustain a big drive that was like 10 minutes long. We got to be ready for, the I wouldn't say scrambles, but the prolonged plays that Patrick does that extends the plays and, breaks coverage because our DB shouldn't be having to cover for 10 to 12 seconds. When he does that, he usually makes somebody pay. And, our offense has got to put up some points. You're playing a high-flying team, but we feel like we got some really good players on offense as well.
And then what was it like? Obviously, you're born in Pittsburgh. Your dad, we all understand the history for you and your family in Pittsburgh. What was that moment like in Pittsburgh when Ben and you won that game in what was being billed as the last game for Roethlisberger in Heinz Field? What was that one like?
Man, not a lot of players get send-offs. And I know Steeler Nation has loved Ben since he's been here, brought home Super Bowls. And, what a fitting way against a rival in Cleveland Browns to, get that win for him. A lot of players on our team just thought, let's just play, how we want to appreciate Ben. Show him how much we care about him and what he's done for us. Let's go out there and win this game.
And is there a sense of not wanting maybe the career to end right now? Is there? Because again, the game is not a Super Bowl's not winding up in Ben's hometown like Bettis did years ago, but there's kind of like that sense that you could go on that mission, similar to a Steelers championship season of 2005. Is there a sense of like that at all?
I think, first of all, there's no championships in Findlay, Ohio coming anytime soon. I'm sorry, Findlay, Ohio. I would love for it, but I don't know if you guys could accommodate a Super Bowl anytime soon.
Yes.
But,
might be a few rooms short.
Yes. I think we all understand the magnitude of the single game elimination. Not only will it end our season, but it could be the end of one of the greatest Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in our generation. And we've been lucky enough to call him a teammate, and I don't think we're ready to let that party end. What better way to have a retirement party than ride this thing out to the Super Bowl?
Okay, man. I love it. And I appreciate you calling in and the times that we've gotten a chance, certainly this season, to talk, but I am mandated to finish up with this. Speaking of a hotel room in Ohio, it does appear that you were in one on the last Saturday of November. Cameron, watching, I imagine, a certain football game on television that was taking place in the state of Michigan. Any thoughts on the subject matter at all of the contents of Michigan putting a 40-burger on the Ohio State this year?
Yeah, that as much as it kills me as an Ohio State guy, it even kills me more as a defensive guy.
Okay.
We're not accommodated to that, and you guys got us.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that, and see you guys next year.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. Is it a problem if we don't leave it at that for just a split moment? Because, I was very pleased, Cameron, at least for you, that the basketball team beat Duke 2 days later, and now Ohio State is a basketball school. Your thoughts on that subject matter, Cameron?
We're not a basketball school. We've had some really good players.
This is great.
But at the end of the day, we are a football school. We are not the UNCs of the Big Ten. So.
All right. Just throwing that out there. What did you think of Aiden Hutchinson? What do you think of him, seeing him play as just a pass rusher here?
He's got
pressurizer.
Yeah, I love his motor. And I know they need him in some critical games. My brother got to play against him. My brother plays at Michigan State.
Yes,
and,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But
this is so much fun. Oh gosh, Cameron Heyward, congrats again. I'm honored that I got to tell you that you made the first team All-Pro. Let's make this a regular thing. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
I appreciate it.
We'll get drinks and everything.
I'd love it. I look forward to that. Maybe I'll see you here in Los Angeles in a few weeks. You never know.
Maybe.
Right?
See you later.
Okay. Take care, Cameron Heyward. Thanks for the time.
Good luck, Cam.
Oh, thanks, guys.
You got it. There you go. That's
Cam, thanks
an
again.
All-Pro.
Oh.
That's an All-Pro. Getting ready for a playoff game. Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, Steelers at Chiefs.
Ooh.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.